What's going on YouTube? I'm super excited about this unboxing and first impressions of this device that I've been waiting for it to go on sale. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I guess there was a fire sale for the original Surface Duo, and myself, including a lot of other people, have probably been waiting for this thing to go on sale. I predicted that right after Christmas, around Christmas time, that we would see some sort of discount. I was absolutely wrong about that. I feel like Microsoft is saying, no way, no how. We already gave you guys a break on the first one. We're not giving you a deal on the second one. So the only deal I've ever really seen for this device has been like a trade-in deal for about $700 off or something to that effect. But the devices that you had to trade in were like top-notch devices that nobody would probably ever trade in for a Surface Duo. But I have been watching and waiting and contemplating on getting this device, and I said to heck with it. Let me go ahead, purchased it at full price. I'm kind of upset with myself for paying full price for this thing, but I'm so curious. I really want to know, did Microsoft make the necessary improvements to make this a competitor? As you guys know, I do own the Galaxy Z Fold 3. That has been my secondary device to my iPhone. But I'm very curious about the multitasking difference between this and the Z Fold 3. So let's take a look at the Surface Duo 2, Microsoft's second attempt. I did pick up the Obsidian color, 128 gig, which ran about $1,500, which puts a huge dent in my wallet. So let's hope this thing is worth it. So let's see what we get in the box. And I think it's far less than what you got with the original Surface Duo. Microsoft is taking a page out of everybody else's book where they're just gonna limit the number of accessories that they give you, but they're keeping the price pretty steep. So let's see what we get in the box. We got some manuals, we got a SIM ejection tool, blah, blah, blah. So no power brick in the box at all, but we do get a USB-C cable. All right. No bumper. So I know the original came with the little bumper that goes on the outside edges. So for $1,500, I have to say first impressions of the presentation is very weak. I definitely feel like a lot of these companies are really getting over on us, and we need to do something about it and stop purchasing these products. Hard to say for somebody that loves technology like myself, but if you guys want to band together, I am down. Maybe we have to boycott some of these products. But here we have the device itself, the Surface Duo 2 Obsidian. Ooh, man, I absolutely love the build quality on the Surface Duo devices. So this one feels very premium, just like the original. Feels a little more grippy. We've got the rounded edges now. We've got the huge controversial camera bump that I heard a lot of people speak about, so we'll have to test the camera out. I don't expect much from the camera, but again, this is going to be considered my secondary device. So let's see what we get as far as the hardware itself. So on this side, we've got a volume rocker, the fingerprint reader, which I'm assuming doubles as the power button. On the bottom, we get the SIM card slot along with the USB-C port. And from my understanding is that they reinforced the framework of this device in order to keep this port from cracking like it did on the original. I know that was an issue. Back here we get the hinge, and I'm really curious to see how well the notification light comes into play here, as well as the LED light for the charging. On the top, I don't really see anything. On the back, we get the triple cameras there with the, I want to say that's going to be the flash there. And so I don't really see where the speakers are. One thing I was excited about is dual speakers. I know the original only had the one, so I'm thinking the speakers are kind of built in either here and here, or maybe even up top. So we do get, we still get the front-facing camera, which is a nice touch there. And let's see if this thing has any juice. So we'll try to power it on. I felt a vibration. Here we go. So we get a little logo action. Let's see if there's any special animations or anything. All right, so we get a little animation going on. So this is going to run Android 11. I know that the update just got released for the original Surface Duo, which really, it did tempt me to try to pick up the original. I know I can find those at a really discounted rate. A lot of them are locked to AT&T, but I know there's a process to try to get it unlocked. So I was tempted to get that version, but I really wanted to get my hands on this device because there's not a lot of places. In fact, I haven't seen any carriers that have offered this device. So it's really tough to get your hands on these. Best Buy is where I found it. And I guess what I'm going to do now is put my information in, and I will be back to give you guys my first impressions of the software. All right, guys, so we're back. I loaded all my information into the device. It took a little while. There was an update that was available, so I had to let the phone go through that, and it had to install and all that wonderful stuff. I had to set it up, fingerprint. So there are some early thoughts that I have. And just when I was getting ready to say how fantastic the fingerprint reader is, right on cue, it doesn't just pop open, or at least if it's popping open, the screen is just black at this point. And I'm kind of glad we're catching this on camera. Let's try this again. There we go. All right, so you guys already got to witness one of the bugs, I guess. But before that, the fingerprint reader was working flawlessly. So there may be still some software situations going on with the device. But in fairness, it did just load everything up. So it could be, still doing some things in the background. So I don't want to jump all over it just yet. But my first impressions, fingerprint reader is very solid. This thing is definitely a fingerprint magnet. So you definitely want to keep you a cloth around to kind of wipe this thing down, but I'm kind of used to that already with the Z Fold 3 anyway. But obviously I love the build quality of this device. The screens are absolutely beautiful, even at the 90 hertz as opposed to the 120 hertz on this device, the Z Fold 3. And I do plan on doing some comparison videos between the two, because really what made me want to try this device out even more is that working from home and being home like 90% of the time now for my life has made me realize a couple things as far as what I consider a secondary device. Because like I said, I use my iPhone primarily. So my Z Fold 3 has been my secondary device. But what I've been finding out about myself is that I really don't like this front display. I rarely use it, and it's probably because I'm at home so much that I'm just able to go ahead and just pop this thing open and use this big, beautiful display. But, and you guys can make comments below, those that own the Z Fold 3, do you really use it for multitasking? I'm finding that even though that was my plan originally when I got it, I find that I only really use one app at a time. And I don't know if it's because this isn't as easy to use for multitasking as I anticipated, but obviously you can split the screens out, you can have the floating windows and whatnot, but I typically don't use it that way. I use it like a regular phone, and I feel like I'm not utilizing it to its full potential, but I can already tell how much more I would use this Duo for that particular use case, right? So it's easy to what I consider or what's probably known as throwing apps, right? So you can just kind of swipe up, and let's go to, I guess we'll use YouTube as an example. So just going to YouTube, I can pull up YouTube, I can keep it on this screen, or I can just take it and throw it to the other screen very conveniently. And then I can go back and open up another app. Let's just say I'll go to, let's try Twitter. I need to get better with Twitter. I don't really do a whole lot of tweeting. I need to. So with Twitter, I can have Twitter on this screen and view some content, make some comments, as well as utilize this screen. There's my girl Gigi right there. I was just involved with her. I don't know if they still got that. Let's turn that down. Speakers have been pretty good as well. But just as an example, we can start watching the video or a live stream on YouTube, and I'm still able to scroll through Twitter. So this is what I would consider real multitasking. And I feel like the Surface Duo is perfect for that, especially as a secondary device. I would say the Z Fold 3, if you wanted it to be your primary device, would probably be the best option of the two, but I still want to do some more comparisons and obviously play around with this phone a lot more. But just based on the few minutes I've been using it, I can already see how much more productive this device could be. Now, downsides could be, if you want to view something full screen, you can kind of do what they call spanning here. And then obviously you get this split down the middle. That's kind of an eyesore. But I guess there's, workarounds, like you can kind of rotate it this way, so that way the bar is not really causing too much interruption or interference. So I guess there's different ways around it, really depending on what your use case is going to be. So I definitely want to play around with this thing more. My first impressions is that I like it so far. Other than that one bug, that was the first bug that I really witnessed. But again, I just got this device, so I'm sure I'll make some other discoveries. So hit me in the comments below. Let me know what you guys want me to try out, what you're curious about with this device. Did you pick one of these up? Do you plan on picking up a Surface Duo, or do you think it's just overpriced and not worth it at all? Because right now, that's the biggest drawback, I believe, is the price of this device. I really think that this thing needs to be at $1,000 or less. So let me know what you guys think. And until the next video, it's your boy Yella, and I'm out. Peace.